Hello everybody and welcome back to another Abigail Page Designs gardening vlog. Today I decided that, you know what, my first attempt at growing cilantro and parsley failed, unfortunately. But I want to attempting herbs again. I want to start sprouting herbs. Thankfully the greenhouse is staying warm enough to where I will probably sprout them indoors, like in our house. And then I'll bring them out here once they're old enough and mature enough to handle the temperature fluctuation, because right now we're still struggling with the nights. It gets down to, I want to say like 50s, which is not ideal for sprouting. I figured our house, since it's always pretty much a consistent 70 degrees, will be better for sprouting, but then once again, they're mature enough to handle the chillier nights and then the warmer days. I think that should do just fine. So I'm not exactly sure which herbs I want to do yet. I'm thinking parsley, cilantro, and maybe some chives. I really want to do basil, but it's too chilly in here. I don't think it would survive. I'll save my second ever attempt at basil later on when it's getting warmer out and, you know, the weather isn't super snowy, as you can see. But I thought herbs may be fun because they add a ton of flavor to food, and as some of you may or may not know, I have quite a few food sensitivities, and one of the things that I try to avoid, well actually two of the things, is garlic and onion, which obviously is where most people bring out the flavor of food. You know, they put onions, they put garlic, and it just adds that powerful punch that sometimes meats and salads and stuff need. But I've found a great replacer for, you know, not being able to put garlic and onion in my food is herbs. So things like chives and parsley and cilantro and, green onions. So they have been a great replacer, and you know what? You can't always buy herbs. There's just not, A, we don't live close to, you know, super close to a store, and B, it's super expensive to buy your own at the grocery store. So I would much rather just have the comfort of knowing that I can go out to my greenhouse whenever I want and, you know, cut up some cilantro, cut up some parsley, throw it in a salad. So that was my motivation behind starting a little herb garden this winter. As always, because I have this really terrible habit of doing it, but it's going to start getting dark soon. So let's get this started. So I ended up settling for parsley, cilantro, and spinach. Yes, I'm aware that spinach is not an herb, but it just looked too delicious to pass up, and I actually love spinach. I love it in my eggs. I love it in my smoothies. It's perfect for freezing or quick salads, so I figured why not give it a try? As I was editing this video, I actually realized that I always start off my repotting or my planting of seeds with gloves on, and then you'll notice throughout the rest of the video I will likely pull them off and just use my bare hands. I'm not really sure why I bother putting the gloves on in the first place, because I actually prefer to do all of my planting barehanded. I don't know if it's just therapeutic to me to have the soil on my hands. I'm not really sure, but I prefer to do all of my gardening barehanded. I think literally the only thing I don't like about being barehanded is the fact that I get dirt in my nails, but other than that, I would much rather be doing all of my planting and everything without the use of gloves. I'm kind of curious. Let me know below if you guys are like me and like to just use your hands, or if you have to wear gloves when you garden.
I wasn't super happy with the planter tray that I chose just because all of the pods were actually on a diagonal, not in even rows, which, if you're planting multiple different types of seeds, can make it very difficult to tell which seeds were which. It's not like I had a clear cut way to divide them, so that was interesting. I really didn't know what seeds were in which pods until they started sprouting. After all the seeds were covered with some soil, I just gave them a nice misting and made sure that the soil was nice and moist, and I continued to do this until they sprouted.
Hello everybody, and guys, I am totally shocked. This morning I was doing my daily misting routine with all my tropical plants, and I could not believe what I was seeing. Another new leaf! Look! Oh my goodness. So this morning it wasn't even sticking out like this. It was actually kind of stuck inside this leaf. And just this afternoon I came back in here and pop, there it was. So hopefully within the next 3 to 4 days, I'd say that's about how long it took all the other ones to fully emerge. But hopefully we'll have another new green leaf to add to the collection we have going here. I will keep this update short, but I just had to let you guys know, because if any of you guys own any plants out there, you would know how exciting it is when you are reassured that your plant is thriving and healthy and it's green, not brown. So yeah, there you have it. My banana tree has another new leaf. Okay, it is getting dark out, so I apologize for my terrible lighting. But I also have to show you that my spinach sprouts, finally decided to pop up. Ta-da! There's 3 of them, so hopefully, I've never grown spinach before. I don't really know what I'm doing, but my mom has, so she will help guide me. But yeah, hopefully they do well in the greenhouse once they're big enough. I'm just gonna continue watering them and keeping the soil moist, and hopefully we'll have all of our other sprouts come up soon. Hey everybody, and welcome to my bathroom. I am in my bathroom because I actually keep some of my plants in here. I keep my African violets, I keep the orchids, and I keep my jade plant. So it's a Sunday, and I normally try to keep my plants on a Sunday watering schedule just so that way I don't forget. And I thought that maybe I would show you guys what a typical Sunday routine looks like for these guys. I also have some plant food here for Cactus. It's the Schultz's Cactus one. I got it in my stocking for Christmas, and I was considering giving some to my jade. It's a very small jade plant. It is, I think, only like 3 months old, so it's still in its young stages of growth, and it's got a long ways to go. So I was like, you know what, I was doing some research, and it looks like this can be given to them any time of year, any time of day, whenever you just water. So I'm not gonna do the whole quart of water. It says add a quart, add 7 drops to a quart of water, but I have 1 jade plant, so I think we're gonna cut that back to like 2 or 3 drops in, well, that would be like a quarter of a quart. I thought it'd be an interesting experiment because, I mean, it is growing, but it's very slow. It's a very slow process. So I was like, well, I don't know, maybe if I see any good results, I'll have to let you guys know. And if I like the product, then I will recommend it to you and link it down below. Also, our orchids that I repotted are doing wonderful. I am so excited. This guy is so close to blooming. Katie and I, my sister, have been taking bets on what day we think it's gonna bloom. Both of us are wrong so far. It's taken a lot longer than we thought. And my orchid is, it's surviving. It's not the healthiest, but it definitely looks a little greener and its leaves aren't yellow anymore, so that's good. I've also noticed that their pots, like the water drains out a lot faster, which is probably a lot better for them, because I know that they absolutely hate sitting in a pot full of wet, moist soil. So that is really the main reason why I repotted them. I was worried with this guy's, you know, little buds, but I still think it might bloom. And you guys don't get to see my African violets much. This one is actually my sister's. She's got like the violet colored one. It looks a lot more blue on camera, but it's actually a very deep purple. And then if you come over here, I have two violets because mine decided that it was going to propagate, and yeah, so I ended up having to separate the mothering plant from the baby plant. Actually, this was the mother plant. This is the baby plant. But they have just been, I mean, they literally are the happiest violets ever. They are constantly blooming. This one looks super pretty right now. This guy is got a couple more buds, but then I venture to say he'll probably take a break and maybe not have any blooms for a while, but I don't know. I feel like I'm always wrong. I rotate them weekly just so that way they get the whole spectrum of their grow light. And I also water them weekly, and that's it. I don't even really do nothing special. I just deadhead the old flowers, which also helps them flower for longer. And I pluck off any leaves down below here that just die off or they get yellow and brown to prevent pests and fungal disease. But enough of me chatting. I'm going to sit these guys in the tub so that way I can give them their water. So I just soak them, like completely soak them, because any water they don't need just drains right out of the little slits in the pots. And then we actually are going to give them a little shower. So I just give them a steaming in the shower once a week too, and that also really seems to help. They absolutely love it. I make sure that they are far enough away in the tub that they don't actually get the shower water on them, but they just get all the steam and the fog, and it's helped a lot. I mean, they went from like brown, crispy, nearly dying orchids to, I mean, they're green now, and one is about to have its second ever bloom. So that's exciting for me because I have not had good luck with orchids. They're a little bit on the fussier side. And you think I would do really good because, like, you know, I tend to take care of plants too much most of the time, but for some reason, man, these orchids really had me stumped for a long time. And then I just rotate them, get the other side. And that's pretty much it. I don't really see any dead anything on this guy today, so I think I'm just gonna leave them. Oh, I guess this one might be. Yeah, so what I do for the dead flowers is I just gently pinch them off. and then I toss them in the trash. Okay, so I just added like a cup of water into my little pitcher, and I'm going to add, let's see, 7 drops. We'll just play it on the safe side and do like 1 in a little teeny pinch, not a full drop. There we go. Okay, that's probably plenty. This does have drainage holes, so once again, I just completely fill it, and whatever it doesn't need can go straight to the bottom. I will say my jade is a very thirsty plant. I don't know if it's the clay pot that it's in or what, but yeah, it goes through a lot of water. Oh, we'll just let it sit and see how it does, see if I see any changes. Here is the before. Nice glance. It's a very deep green. It's very, very strong and perky. Not any sign of wilt, but I guess we'll see if it gets perkier, maybe? I gotta stop forgetting those dang outros. Oh my gosh, I'm so terrible at remembering to film the outros for my gardening vlogs. I think it's just because I continuously am vlogging. I don't really ever stop, so it's very hard for me to tell when I have enough footage to create a gardening vlog or when to cut it off. So I'm blaming it on that, but here we are, new day, and I'm filming the outro. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me in this gardening vlog. I hope you had a lot of fun watching me plant my herb plants and getting to see them sprout. Oh yes, and the Sunday gardening routine. That is a strict routine that I do every single Sunday. I'm no joke. You can ask any of my family members, but I am very dedicated to my Sunday plant routine. Because I'm curious, I would like to know, do you have your plants on a watering schedule too, or am I the only crazy that does that? Please leave a like if you have a garden or you like gardening content. And don't forget to subscribe if you love all things organizing, cleaning, decorating, and gardening. I love you all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!